This year's batch of rookie wide receivers are very, very good. They're very, very talented. They're also very underrated because these guys are so good that they could be popping off left and right like fireworks. And we're also catching some talented wide receivers fall in redraft where they should be considered speculative assets, could be considered gambles that could go boom on you, and it could be happening for you rather quickly all offseason. We've been talking about Jayden Reed, rookie wide receiver of the Green Bay Packers, how he could make an impact for this team and how he could exceed expectations in fantasy. And now he might be getting some added opportunity here in week 1 as we dig into the injury reports. But before we dig into the information and the stats, you gotta click that subscribe button right now. You need it because we're going to help you with the waiver wire. We're going to help you with those pickups. We're going to help you set lineups. We're doing these deep dives so you can learn these players. So when he does pop off or when that other running back pops off, you know who they are, and then you can go after them or not go after them because you have that extra information under your belt. Hit that subscribe button right now. Stop missing out so you're ready for the season. But here we go. Starting with Jayden Reed here, and we had some big news yesterday, and it's worth watching. Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs did not practice yesterday. Hamstring injuries linger. This could be an issue for them. This could impact the start of the season, which means Jayden Reed could pop off earlier in the season. He could be seeing more snaps than expected, more targets than expected, more opportunities than what we were thinking about earlier this offseason. We knew he was doing well. Minicamp, training camp, doing things in preseason. Everything was looking good. But now he might be getting those opportunities that allow him just to expedite the process. He's going to be working in the slot in this offense. Should be on the field most of the time, if not all the time. Should be one of the top wide receivers in this offense. If not, he could graduate to being the wide receiver 1. He's a rookie, but the other wide receivers are young too. So this is a very ambiguous wide receiver depth chart that Jayden Reed can climb and surmount. And the thing is, we look at the portfolio here, and it is pretty good for a wide receiver who got drafted in the second round. He broke out with 2 different collegiate programs. At Western Michigan, he started his career off with a 25.83% market share. That's in that top grid at the bottom, that top spreadsheet, at age 18 as a freshman. And then he got to Michigan State in 2021. Broke out again with a 31.11% market share of their passing production. So he broke out with 2 different collegiate programs. What that tells us is he can transition from the high school game to the G5 college game at Western Michigan and produce. Then go from the G5 college game to the Power 5 game there at Michigan State and produce. Now we're transferring from the Power 5 game to the NFL game. And what we're seeing him is on the field in minicamp making plays, on the field at training camp and making plays, in preseason and making plays. Now he's going to be on the field. Should transition pretty quickly. It's a pattern here. The pattern's looking pretty good. I do a lot of these unique videos covering these deep dives of these players, and this is actually kind of a unique video. You need to know him because there are some good things in his profile here. Had a 1,000-yard season there in 2021 with Michigan State. Just like that. Just doing things off the rip. And this guy has been productive. Not only that, but at a yards per team pass attempt perspective as well. At Western Michigan, 2.01 yards per team pass attempt. His best year in 2021, like it was on the counting stats, 2.57, 1.68, 1.54 on the other years. He was a key cog of the offense. And then you look at the tape, you look at the highlights. Dude makes plays, nuanced route runner, gets downfield, can get them air yards, and you can see that with the ADOT. A 13.2 ADOT in 2021, getting targets downfield. Getting those deep ball targets, and 11.8 ADOTs there during his final year. And then even at Western Michigan had a 10.1. That means he's considered a deep threat. They want to target him downfield, and they're going to be using him in the slot there in Green Bay. So this is a guy who's multifaceted, can win at all phases, and can win at the catch point, break off routes. Fun player to watch. Could be a sneaky guy that just makes an impact early in his career, and we're just watching what happened there because he was falling in drafts. Some leagues he didn't even get drafted, but this is a rookie wide receiver you need to pay attention to, at least looking at the draft profile. Drafted at 219, 50th overall, top 50 draft capital means the odds are good in his favor that he does something in the NFL from a fantasy football perspective. Holding that value, giving you some production. It's going to do something somewhere down the line, whether it's this year, next year, year after, next week, week after, whatever. Something's going to happen with Jayden Reed because the odds are in his favor. Also, nothing could happen because that's in the realm of possibilities too. I'm not trying to pump him up, but still, draft capital is on his side as well as the production metrics. 5'11", 191. So right at that requisite size for a wide receiver to hit. 23 years old. Good things are looking good. And then the athletic metrics look pretty good as well. 4.45, 40-yard dash. Speed score, 55th percentile. More than athletic to get the job done. And that's all we care about. You can compete on the field. Early breakout age per dominator rating. Top dominator rating, 35.75%. Looking good there. 73rd percentile. 75th percentile in college target share at 25%. Compared to Stephon Diggs, when you're looking at the metrics here, production metrics, athletic metrics, size, all comparable there. When you lump all that together, that's another good sign. Another wide receiver who fell in the draft. He fell further, but smaller Big Ten school, even smaller Big Ten school than Michigan State, but still an unrecognized Big Ten school that went in the draft, kind of fell a little bit per the metrics, and now has a chance to blossom. You can make that story, but they're totally different players as well. Also, opportunity here. Everything's ambiguous. You got two young wide receivers with them in the offense. They're coming into the season hurt. They missed the last practice due to hamstring. They might be on the field. They might not be this week. We're going to have to watch that. That might be news to you guys with Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. But Jayden Reed could get his opportunity, especially as the slot. Anybody behind him are not really considered competition. This is going to be the Reed show or the Watson Doubs show, but Reed has that upside to really hit as a second-round pick in a good wide receiver class with good college production, good athletic specs. There's nothing really that you can root against them with. The one thing I can note with this offense is they're transitioning from Aaron Rodgers to Love. They could slow down the pace of this offense, but this offense is known to have a slower paced offense anyways. With Rodgers, it might even ramp up a little bit. There might be even more deep balls chucked. Who knows? They also got two good running backs. They can slow things down with that as they transition to this new quarterback as we get into live games here in 2023. But again, we're looking at young wide receivers who are cheap, who are very cheap. He was a deep draft target. Round 14 ADP on Underdog this summer. He was falling out of drafts and home leagues. I know it. I know he's sitting on waivers in a lot of your guys' leagues. Probably got drafted as a speculative pick in a lot of your leagues as well in one of the last rounds, which should have happened if you looked at this profile and looked at the upside here and watched the preseason and training camp. If you had your ear to the ground of that, you know that upside's tremendous. What if he cooks? What if this offense is a little bit better? The what ifs, you're wondering, well, they're what ifs. However, this is a cheap what if. I'm not paying 6th round draft price for this. I'm not paying 4th round, 5th round, or even 9th or 10th. I'm paying my last pick, my waiver wire spot, for a guy that has some good things in his prospect profile that could turn over as a positive get. He could be one of the most productive wide receivers in the NFL. We don't know, but he's got some numbers here that are indicating something's going to happen with Jayden Reed. The odds are good in his favor, and you need him because he's a cheap breakout candidate. There's not many at wide receiver this cheap. He's a cheap lottery ticket you can hit your wagon to. Might hit, might not. But the odds are better than a lot of jabronis out there sitting on waivers. You don't want them because you want running backs instead. You want to pound the running back market off waivers. You want those late round running backs. That's understandable per a strategy perspective. And also you don't trust rookies. You don't want to wait on a rookie. You're not patient. You don't want to wait for him to hit on week 6, week 8, 10, or maybe those last 2 games of the season as we roll out of this season. That's in the realm of possibilities. he could be a player that hit, but just not in time for you to need him. So that might be a thing that may not help you too, because we're not here to sell Jayden Reed. We're here to let you know who he is, what's the potential here, what's the downfall. And the downfall is always zero, especially with these rookies. But the upside with him is pretty decent, considering he's got opportunity, he's got good production metrics, good athleticism. There's a lot of good things to say about Jayden Reed. Very good, very fun wide receiver prospect who has upside, has some characteristics that could allow him to be effective early in the NFL game. But the downside is he is a rookie. He's still learning the game. The offense is still recovering or rebooting or upgrading from what they had. And we could be seeing this offense have some rough moments or be clicking, because they did have some moments in preseason. So you want to be objective when watching this team. But Jayden Reed is in line to see a massive opportunity this year. And if he captures it, you could be seeing a guy with huge upside. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out, and I'll catch you on the next video.